Welcome everyone. In today's video I wanted to talk about the best places where you can get yield on your SOL within the Solana DeFi ecosystem. So let me just get a couple of things out of the way first. So first of all, none of this is financial advice. Second of all, we're going to try and target above a 7% APY return on our SOL. And that is simply because you can get that return by staking your SOL or by holding a liquid staking derivative. So if we can beat that, it will be worth our time. Otherwise, it's not really worth it to take on extra risk doing all of these things in DeFi if you're not even going to beat essentially what is the risk-free SOL rate. So the first place we're going to take a look is Saber. So Saber Finance is the curve finance of Solana. It's the dominant stable swap platform here, and basically I would say it's the backbone of Solana DeFi because a lot of stuff it actually takes its roots from Saber Finance. So Saber Finance, if you go to farms and then click on SOL here, if we just scroll down, we can see that the rates on the SOL, well, the APYs you're getting here are quite low until we get all the way down to the bottom, and that's for JSOL SOL. So JSOL is another liquid staking derivative of SOL. And if you provide liquidity for the JSOL SOL pair, and then you stake your LP tokens in the farm section, you can get roughly about 12% APY. Now, you just got to be wary of the fact that that APY is not natively SOL. So you are going to have to sell off your tokens in order to actually recompound them and actually get this APY number. So in order to actually jump into this pool, you're going to need to go to pools, then go to SOL. We'll scroll all the way down to JSOL SOL, and then you can deposit a single-sided SOL into here, and then Saber itself will sell off that SOL into JSOL to make it like a 50-50 split in order to actually start providing liquidity. And so it's quite easy. And then once you get your LP tokens, you can come back to farms and then go to SOL and scroll all the way down, press stake, and then deposit any LP tokens you have here, and then you can instantly start earning yield upon your SOL. Now the next platform we're going to take a look at is Mercurial Finance. So Mercurial Finance is the second best stable swap platform here on Solana. And so if we just take a look, they have a pool here that's currently paying out 9% APY if you provide liquidity in the stake SOL pool. The MSOL one is slightly lower, but if we take a look here, we can find a 11.44% APY pool on Parrot SOL. So if you press deposit, and then you can enter the amount of SOL that you want to use to provide liquidity, and then it will automatically swap it for PSOL. So again, that's quite nice. And then you will start receiving 11.44% APY on your SOL, but that will be in Mercurial Finance tokens. And one thing to note about Mercurial Finance is that you can only claim your rewards once a day, and you have to go to the rewards page in order to do so. The next protocol is Aldrin. So Aldrin is a DEX here on Solana, so they have order books as well as an AMM. So if we go to pools and then go to stable pools, we can see fairly decent yields here on stables, as well as the MSOL SOL pool and the stake SOL pool actually paying out decent APRs here as well. So 15% APR on this pool and 17% APR on that pool. This pool pays out in RIN tokens, and this pool pays out in Lido as well as RIN tokens. So you just have to keep that in mind as well, is that if you are going to provide liquidity in the stake SOL pool, you are going to have exposure to SOL and RIN. Otherwise, you can just sell them off to recompound that pool. So this is actually pretty good, and I'm surprised it's still so high because these pools have been around for a while. Now the next protocol I want to take a look at is Tulip. So if you go to auto vaults on Tulip and then press stable, we can see the yields that we get here, and the highest yearly APY we are getting is this Social SOL pool here. So essentially what happens is that you can take your Social SOL LP tokens from Saber, so you're going to need to go back to pools and then look for it here, deposit the SOL that you want to start providing liquidity with, and then take your LP tokens back to Tulip, and then you can stake them here. And then effectively what happens is that Tulip auto compounds those farms for you, and in return, they take a 4% fee for doing so. So your yearly APY is about 8%. So whilst you are still beating the 7% APY number I set earlier on in this video, it's probably not worth your time per se to actually be doing this. So this definitely isn't one of my favorite methods. Now let's take a look at Sunny Aggregator. So Sunny Aggregator basically just allows you to deposit your Saber Finance LP tokens here, and then in return they will give you Sunny tokens. So if we just take a look, I think this is the highest yield you can get on your Sol right now on Sunny Aggregator at the time of filming. So this is obviously subject to change due to market conditions, as well as the fact that Sunny emissions are controlled by the DAO, and every week they will tend to change. So this Saber DAO Sol LP pool is currently paying out 15% APY. So again, you're going to need to go to Saber and then start providing liquidity in this pool. Take your LP tokens and then start staking them in Sunny. So just be aware that your APY is going to come from Saber and Sunny, and so you are going to have to sell those off again in order to actually get that true APY number. Next, we're going to take a look at Atrix Finance. So this is another DEX here on Solana, and they have permissionless pools. And one of the permissionless pools that was created is this RSol Sol Farm. So RSol is another liquid staking derivative of Solana. If you provide liquidity in this particular pool, you're getting 32% APY. So in order to do so, you're going to need to get your Atrix LP tokens. So if we go to pools and then we search for RSol, and then you can press deposit here and then deposit the amount that you actually want to start providing liquidity with. So, and then you can take your LP tokens back to farms and then stake them here in order to receive that 32% APY. And lastly, we're going to take a look at Almond. So Almond is like the original food farm here on Solana. I thought the yields would have been crushed a lot more. So Almond is the original yield farm here on Solana, and I'm surprised at how high the yields are still here. So I think Almond is like an extremely inflationary token, but as you can see here, the Sol pool is currently paying out 38% APY. So Almond is effectively Atrix Finance's version of Sunny Aggregator. So what Sunny Aggregator is to Saber, Almond is to Atrix Finance. Well, that's just the way that I have it in my head. So what you're going to need to do to actually start getting this yield is you need to go to find Atrix Finance and then go up to pools and then find the Sol pool. So if you start providing liquidity in here, take your LP tokens and then stake them in the Almond farm, and you can start receiving this 38% APY. Remember, these APYs are being paid out in the Almond token, and it's basically useless, you know, as far as I'm aware. So from my research, these are all of the places where you can get the highest yield on your Sol right now. Leave any comments down below if you think you can provide any resources to find more or higher yields on your Sol, because that would be much appreciated. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos like this one.